Wowgo AT2, launched in the third quarter of 2020, is an amazingly good-looking board in its price range. All of its components are updated for 2020, which makes this one of the most modern electric skateboards money can buy. The Wowgo AT2 has an efficient heat dissipation metal plate over the ESC housing. The heatsink over the ESC can reduce battery and ESC failure rate from overheating. This is definitely a welcome addition to the board, as it should be safer to ride as compared to the boards that don't have this option. In my experience so far, after about 200 miles, I've yet to experience any ESC related issues. The AT2 comes with flexible deck and flexible battery enclosure. The board's backbone is the gorgeous fiberglass, bamboo, and Canadian maple deck that makes it flexible and high strength at the same time. The wooden deck is painted completely black, which gives off a premium carbon look, while at the same time still retains the flexibility of a wooden deck. This deck also has a slight drop, making the rider closer to the ground. Also, as a personal preference, I think drop decks just look so much better than the flat ones. The board comes with double KINGPIN trucks made for carving and 4 175mm pneumatic AT wheels with precision CNC wheel hubs, powered by a pair of 6368 motors that can accelerate faster than I dare to push. Connected with the motors is the 14 amp-hour Japan Sanyo battery that can discharge 40 amps, which also should have lower voltage sag than its competitors. I can attest to the low voltage sag. The board performs well in turbo under 40% battery, but it will draw your remaining battery at a faster rate, therefore sacrificing your range to maintain performance. Both motors are rated at 1500 watts and are much quieter than motors of similar size, yet they still produce a very satisfying sound if that's what you're into. The Wowgo AT2 uses an upgraded version of Hobbywing ESC to create a smooth acceleration curve and braking experience. I can stand by this claim as long as you're using the pneumatic wheels or the CLOUDWHEEL 120s. The wheels are also easily swappable. You can switch between the cloud wheels to the pneumatic wheels to even street wheels in just a couple minutes. I swapped the pneumatic wheels for some 83mm street wheels, and this board just became a super torquey board. I highly recommend you test out smaller street wheels if you want the balls to the wall fast type of acceleration. But just to be mindful that top speed will be drastically reduced because of the smaller wheel size. For reference, 83mm street wheels on my board maxes out at 21 miles per hour. The Wowgo AT2 comes equipped with Continental 5M belts. 5M is usually more durable and can usually handle more torque from bigger motors, so it's great to see them installed here on the board. Also, Wowgo included a set of spare 5M belts with the box, so definitely something good on them to include. The OLED remote is simple and has a digital display with key information for the rider. You can change the gear ratio and the wheel size on the remote for accurate range and distance tracking. I do wish the remote comes with battery percentage on the display. There's just a lot of guesswork when the battery is divided into only 5 zones. Also, to change the wheel size on your remote, you'll need to slowly click the action button about 50 to 60 times until you hit the correct number. If you click too fast, it will register as a double click and move on to the next setting, and you have to reset and repair the remote to begin this process again, which is just kind of annoying. This is just a small nitpick I have, but it's not really a big issue. The Wowgo AT2 is also water resistant with an IP55 rating, meaning you can splash some water and dust on it and will still be fine. It's mostly for when you run into accidental wet road conditions. However, Wowgo advises against riding in rainy days, and I would too. If you do run into some rain and puddles, wipe it down when you get home and leave it in the sun to dry off. I've already seen some people's battery enclosures open up, so don't ride in wet weather. The The Wowgo AT2 is able to push harder due to the upgraded ESC hardware. It's rated to go as fast as 25 miles per hour or 40 kilometers per hour, and able to climb hills with 30% inclines. But I have actually gone faster than 25 miles per hour before, that is if you believe the accuracy of cycling tracking apps. The range of this board is up to 22 miles, but I've only gone up to 17.4 miles with a rider weight of 200 pounds and an elevation gain of 600 feet. Overall, I'm satisfied with the range. The carving experience on the 306mm double KINGPIN trucks is snappy and effortless, but can feel unstable at higher speeds. Especially for someone like me who only rides reverse KINGPIN trucks for the last couple years, I was told by many experienced riders that the instability was mostly due to my posture and stance, which I think is valid, but I've not run into similar issues with reverse KINGPIN trucks. I have taken some tumbles on this board, but it's mostly my fault for trying out looser bushings and pushing for higher speeds without knowing how to properly handle wobbles. Just as a reminder, if you want to ride the super fast speeds on this board, you should know how to ride double KINGPIN trucks. It may take some time to fully master. I won't go into detail for that in this video, but I'll be sure to make one in the future. Ultimately, if you love carving, the setup is great, but I do find at higher speeds it is a little bit less stable, unless you're in the correct posture or stance for a double KINGPIN truck to go at higher speeds. I find stock bushings too soft, so I invested in my own Venom bushings. This is more of a personal preference, as I prefer double barrels over standard barrel plus cone combo. What I do recommend is for you to swap out the default bushings for better riding experience. The default bushings are not terrible, but in my opinion this is the best and the cheapest investment that you can make that will have the greatest performance impact and return per dollar invested. Braking is very gentle at first, but kicks in hard towards the middle of the brake curve. This is a smart design as you don't want to be thrown off the board with strong jerky motions from a sensitive brake. I had to brake hard many times and I found it to be soft in the beginning, kicks real hard in the middle, and softens again as I get close to a complete stop. There's a little bit of guesswork on where it comes in really hard in the middle of the curve, so you'll need to kind of brake hard a couple times just to experience that and know when that super strong braking is going to come. The remote can wirelessly start the board, which is not a feature Wowgo advertises on their site, but definitely something worth mentioning. Simply an amazing feature to have and saves a lot of time from bending over in places where it is not safe to be bending over. I do wish charging is faster though. It does seem to take about 4 to 5 hours to completely charge to full. There currently is no option for fast charging. The AT2 comes with ABEC pulleys with CLOUDWHEELS. I've had other street wheels and they fit perfectly on the pulleys. Some Redditors did mention that their ABEC 11 wheels did have some play with the CLOUDWHEEL pulleys that came with the board, but it's still usable. I find the Wowgo's all-terrain capabilities to be mediocre, mostly because of the tire treads that came with the board runs horizontally to the length of the board instead of running parallel to it. This pattern is more street-friendly rather than off-road friendly. This board is pretty good when running on hard-packed dirt like a mountain bike trail, but it doesn't fare well in rocky and bumpy situations. Also, if you're off-roading on grass and it's slightly wet, you will not be able to make it up even a small amount. Again, this is due to the tire treads, as it offers very little grip in situations like this. But then I'm not going to do a lot of off-roading myself. I mainly use this on roads and really crappy roads. So this board and its current setup is actually amazing for street riding. Everything is just so butter smooth on the pneumatic tires. The Wowgo AT2 is the first of its class to offer pneumatic wheels. These wheels run $200 by themselves, so make sure you get these as the default configuration. They turn well and carves even better. I would often forget that I'm actually on a skateboard when I'm on this thing because of how smooth the ride is. Any rough patches of the road that I used to dread over is now as flat as ice in a hockey rink. The downside of pneumatic tires is that you'll have to check the tire pressure every ride, and you should probably bring a tire patch kit and air pumps just in case you puncture a tire. Wowgo is nice enough to include one in a box. It's really basic and cheap, but it's light and it fits in my backpack. The cloud wheels are a different story. Some people love them, some people hate them. The biggest problem with these wheels is that the contact patch is quite small. You'll need to ride about 100 miles to break them in. If you don't, well, you'll be slipping a lot if you do a lot of really aggressive carving. But performance aside, the ride comfort is almost as good as the pneumatic wheels on road vibrations. It obviously won't do well against larger potholes and large cracks in the road, but other than that, it rides like butter. I want to see mud guards for all 4 wheels, like the ones from Backfire Ranger. Riding even on moist ground, meaning flinging water onto your pants. Sometimes I look like I pooped my pants and I don't like that look. It's just not my style. The board also comes with 9 months of warranty. It is the longest warranty from a Chinese company that is currently shipping in October 2020. The quality of the warranty remains to be seen, as I have not run into any need for warranty yet. However, do understand this is a company in China. Their understanding of warranty is a little bit different than the United States. They have stated outright that they won't give you a refund even if you receive a DOA product. I've seen a couple guys with this situation. But what you should be expected to do is to diagnose this issue with the support team from Wowgo and be able to fix this problem when they ship you the replacement parts. This is the reason why the board is so cheap, because premium warranty service isn't baked into the price of the product. Just be aware that you are expected to fix any problems, and Wowgo ships the necessary parts through its warranty program. This is mostly because shipping the board individually as opposed to shipping via cargo freight is an enormous cost, which sometimes cost as much as half of your board just to ship it one way. I'm not here defending poor customer service, but I'm just summarizing from what I have observed in the forums and Facebook groups. Wowgo is a company that has been in business for many years, and they genuinely seem to want to create a long-lasting relationship with the community. Overall, I love this board and the value it creates at half the price of an Evolve Carbon GTR. It undeniably raises the bottom line of budget all-terrain boards to even greater heights, and minimizing the gap between the definition of a premium all-terrain board to a budget all-terrain board. Overall, I love this board, and for $1,000, I think it hits the looks that I wanted, it hits the performance that I wanted, it hits the budget that I wanted, and it hits the versatility that I wanted. This is my primary board right now. I've been riding it almost every single day. Absolutely love this board. So if you're on the fence, I would say go for it. This is the most updated board for 2020, and you'll definitely like it. This video is not sponsored in any way. I just love e-skating and I want to share this experience. Making these videos is incredibly time consuming. You can help out by just clicking the thumbs up and subscription buttons. Also, please let me know if you agree with everything I mentioned or don't agree. Let me know down below, and also let me know what you guys want to see next. Thanks, and ride safe.